And this is the key, turning away from all feelings of inadequacy. And our minister would actually have us turn around as we said that. So turning away from all feelings of inadequacy, I discovered that all that I need is within me right now. So we're turning away from that which is negative. We're turning away from that which is limiting. And we're turning to the realization that all that I need is within me right now. And this goes back to what Holmes says. Thankfully, we can think differently. Our universal needs of safety, security, and stability and shelter are required for survival. Ideally, home is the place where these basic needs are met. When a baby's needs are met, it feels secure with its primary caregiver. And there are some characteristics of babies born into the animal kingdom and human babies. Babies born into the animal kingdom can fend for themselves within a few months of birth. The baby feels free to explore their surroundings, knowing their source of safety and security is nearby. And on our local next door neighbor little social media page that we have, it's just exciting to me to see the posts that people show about the wildlife as the birthing seasons come in. And, there's some postings recently of some little baby bobcats that are playing inside of a tube, and some of you saw that. And there are others of the little fawns that are after birth they wobble for a few minutes or so, and then they're up and on their way. And yet the protector, their caregiver, their mother, in some cases the mother and the dad, are always nearby, providing that safety and security that allows them to explore. Human babies, on the other hand, are born completely dependent on their caregivers, often for years before reaching full maturity and self-reliance. Babies that come up with insecure attachments may be clingy and afraid to leave their parents or caregivers, or have difficulty establishing bonds. These unhealthy patterns continue into adulthood, causing all types of dysfunction and failed relationships to be in community and to love others, to love themselves and to love others. This is what dysfunction looks like. Adults with secure experiences feel positive about themselves and others. They see themselves as worthy of love and have a strong belief that others will be receptive and responsive to them. Now, these are some of the underlying requirements for establishing roots and wings. And what I love about the teachings of Science of Mind is that it offers us the opportunity to establish these roots that we may not have had as children, but we can establish them at any point in our life. One of my teachers said that the story of life is all made up anyway. We make up our version of what our experience was. And I've observed this in my own family. Some memories that I have of the experience of my daughters are totally different from what their memories are. And yet, each memory is valid because each memory comes from that particular perspective or point of view. And so as we engage in our spiritual practices, we can establish new roots that give us wings to fly in a new direction. Again, we turn away from that which was disappointing. We turn away from that which was discouraging, and we turn to what it is that we choose to experience in our lives. No matter how much children or adults complain about boundaries or push against them, boundaries and consistency are necessary for establishing and maintaining a sense of safety, inspiring courage and confidence. And I know I still find those points in my life where I push back from boundaries. It's like, no, I don't. This doesn't feel good. This the box doesn't feel good. And so what I do is take a step back, take that cleansing breath, and just go within and ask, what am I resisting? What am I resisting? And then I ask myself also, is it worth the fight? You know, do I have the energy? Am I willing to take the energy and the investment in time in doing some pushback? Or is there another approach that can be taken? Too many boundaries can be isolating and drive disconnection. Non-existent or weak boundaries result in less safety, less freedom, and less satisfaction in life in general. Our goal then is to create healthy boundaries and provide parameters necessary and beneficial to our own safety and the safety of those around us, both in the physical, the mental, and the emotional areas of our life. This leads to success and well-being. Ernest Holmes, in the Science of Mind textbook, uses the word boundless to describe a successful individual who believes that their self, who believes in their self, and only sees success and not failure. And he writes this: sailing on the boundless sea of livingness, sailing on the boundless sea of livingness. And this is what I call our roots. Upon the bosom where we all are carried forward. I call this our wings. We go from greater success to greater success. So again, this is an example of turning away from and turning towards. This is so poetic. I'm going to read it without the little editorial that I put in. Sailing on the boundless sea of livingness, upon whose bosom we are all carried forward. We go from greater success to greater success. I don't know about you, but for me, that is very inspiring. It is very encouraging that as I sail on the sea of boundless livingness means there's no limits to the life that I am living. In this idea, home is a place where we can be our authentic, imperfect selves. We can be known, we can be seen, we can be loved, and we can be accepted just as we are. And this is the true meaning of being in spiritual community. Sometimes church or spiritual community is referred to as a spiritual hospital. And there are individuals who may be experiencing things that they are not quite sure how to turn away from. The distraction is like a magnet. It is pulling in the opposite direction of what we want to go. And so when we are established in a loving and welcoming and inclusive and embracing community, this is where we can come home. We can come home to ourselves. As our tagline here at Monterey says, welcome home to yourself. We come home to that place where we are welcomed and embraced without judgment or criticism, without any idea of wrongdoing. We come home to a community that listens with an open and compassionate ear, seeing only good, only good, only good, not offering advice, not offering unsolicited, untrained counseling, just being that place where God is showing up, spirit speaking to spirit. Brené Brown says, belonging is the innate human desire to be part of something larger than us. Because this yearning is so primal, we often try to acquire it by fitting in and seeking approval. These are not only hollow substitutes for belonging, but there are often barriers to belonging. Seeking approval, changing the nature of who we are as authentic individuals, individual creations of spirit, to seek it, to fit in and to be accepted. True belonging happens when we present our authentic, imperfect selves to the world. Notice the words here, our authentic and our imperfect selves. Our sense of belonging can never be greater than our own level of self-acceptance. The place that we know and where we also feel known is home. And it is home at its best. This is what gives us a sense of rootedness, a feeling of familiarity, and the safety of belonging. The stability established by this safety and belonging creates a launching pad that allows us to spread our wings, to take flight, and to know that we are free to venture out and to be our authentic selves, knowing home is always a safe place to land. So we have our roots that ground us, that give us the foundation to go out and explore. And we also have those wings that will drive us, that bring us back home, back to that safe landing plan. And so in conclusion, I offer this quote from Ernest Holmes. The kingdom of heaven is that place within ourselves where there is a universal and individual peace at all times. The peace that holds no doubt of our abiding good and wise divine protection. A peace that holds no doubt for our abiding good and wise divine protection. And our call to action, our life work for this week, is to create a vision of what a happy, healthy home means for you and others with whom you may live. And the invitation is to take time to establish a mental equivalent of that healthy, happy home, affirm it and claim it as yours. And of course, mental equivalent is our mental template for how we see and experience the world. And so as you create this mental equivalent of a healthy, happy home, affirm it and claim it as yours, and record your notes in your journal. And I'm going to ask next week as we gather that you just drop in the chat, if you're willing, just drop in the chat some of your reflections of your journaling experience. And now let us say together our weekly affirmation. My home brings out the best in me and others. Let us say that again. My home brings out the best in me and in others. And so let us pray together. Going to that place, returning to that place we call home, that place where there is only love, and that love is the essence of God, the essence of this eternal creative source of all that there is. The highest idea of life is love. The highest idea of life is good. And God represents both love and good. And nothing opposite of those two characteristics, those two highest ideals. And so it is in this place that I know I am one with love, I am one with good, and as I embrace and know this truth for myself, I embrace it and know it for all people in all places and at all times. How good it is to come together in community, to be on one accord, to know that love abides, that we have roots and wings that show the way of the good in our lives. And so I am grateful for all places where people are gathering to recognize their good, to recognize and reconnect with their roots, and to have those wings that allow them to expand and to grow and to love and to explore and to always know that there's a safe landing spot back home. Recognizing that life is good and that life expands into an ever and ever more good in every single place, I give thanks. I give thanks for this idea of roots and wings, knowing that as we are rooted in the love of spirit, that whatever circumstances, whatever conditions that come in our lives, whether it be health opportunities, opportunities for right livelihood, opportunities for divine connection, that there is this place called home where we are anchored in the love of God, the love of Spirit. And that love is what gives us the wings to go out and spread our love and to be receptive of the love that is awaiting for us. And so for this and so much more, I am eternally grateful, releasing this word back into that law, which always says yes. I just allow it to be. And I invite you to affirm this with me as we say together, and so it is. We have a divine opportunity now to participate in the flow of abundance that shows up as good in the form of money in our lives. And I invite us to now say together our affirmation of abundance. I recognize the presence of God within as the source of my abundance. Out of my abundance consciousness flows everything I could desire in life. With gratitude and thanksgiving, I now participate in the flow of uninterrupted abundance. This prosperous experience is evidence of my abundance consciousness. And so it is. And so with gratitude, I come to you each week with sincere gratitude and appreciation for the way that you support this community, not only with your offerings, with your tithes, with your donations, but also with your consciousness, the consciousness of love, and those volunteer opportunities that we have here at the center. And so you may mail in your contributions to the center, and our address is on the screen. You may text to give, and you may also donate online to our website at montereycsl.org. And I have just a few highlights that I would like to share with us while we are still connected to our virtual Facebook community. And this is a reminder that next Sunday, now this week we can say next Sunday. I think I'm finally on the right page in the right month and the right day. So next Sunday, we have the wonderful opportunity to have not only as our guest speaker, but have as our tour guide, Reverend Kathy Matsoriani, who is the executive director of our Science of Mind Foundation. Reverend Kathy will be our guest speaker for the morning service, and then immediately following service, while we're still connected together, she will take us on a tour of our Science of Mind archives in our home office in Golden, Colorado. And our service may extend by about a half an hour, and we invite you to stay. And we have provided or will provide, everything is unfolding in perfect order. We will provide lunch for those who join us here in the center following the service. And we invite those who are in our virtual community to prepare a snack beforehand so that you can enjoy that with us as we learn more about our archives, the collection of our historical record. On Thanksgiving Day, we will have a Thanksgiving service that will be a virtual service. We're going to decide during the week whether we're going to offer an in-house for those who choose to come. But at this point, it's looking like a virtual service for half an hour, maybe 45 minutes, depending on how much sharing, for us just to come together and share the goodness and the experiences of how thankful and grateful we are. A reminder that next Sunday, well, on the third Sunday, our Soul Collage team is taking a break until the beginning of the year. And then the last Sunday of this month will be our spiritual living discussion circle. And there's an exciting gratitude opportunity that we have here for us in the center. And I invite you to join us in our virtual community. And I'm going to ask Denise Kaku to come up and share with us that experience.
So if many of you were with us last year, we had a gratitude jar. And people took their containers, and with each grateful thought, they put a bean or a rock in their container. Well, this year, we are doing something a little different. And I've invited in the chat, in the Zoom room, for people to enter what they are grateful for. But we have a whiteboard gratitude wall in the sanctuary. And I'd invite people to take a whiteboard marker and write one or two things that you're grateful for, and we can carry on next Sunday, adding to the wall. I today brought a photograph of Teddy Bear and Tessa, our two beloved dogs that have made their transition. And I was reminded that one of the things that I really miss about them, but I'm grateful that I have those beautiful memories, is that our four-legged babies are love bugs, and they just adore us with their whole heart, with no grudges and no regrets. And they're my example of how to live more lovingly in the world. So please think about something you're grateful for, a person, a situation, an object, it could be anything, but we know that gratitude is the anointing of increase in your life.
Thank you, Denise. Another reminder to our virtual community is to just know that we love you. We're grateful for you. We thank God for you. And we invite you to return next week. And again, I said Reverend Kathy Mansouriani is our guest speaker, and her title is "These Things Shall Ye Do." There's no place like Holmes, Holmes. So we invite you to, those who are viewing us via Facebook and also on our YouTube channel, please click on the like button and share. And we say to our virtual community, thank you and good morning.